My name is Jason. This is my unimportant yet important to me sports news for the week. So I'm just going to jump into a few videos and just commentate on them here. So let's jump into the first one, see how we go. First up, we got golf. The Masters is popping off this week. Just sort of, there's an event that goes on where they skip the pond. So this is the first one up.
Music licensing reimagined.
Not bad, I would say. It's so funny though, these guys are meaning to do this. And every time I play golf, that's the only way I can actually get across a pond is by skipping it like that. So, no, that's awesome. I mean, I don't know who that was, but this guy here, is that Trump? That's who I thought it was straight up. But man, that's talent when, you know, like that guy doesn't look young and he can still do things like that. And he's probably keeping it in the bag for ages and just having a bit of fun with it, you know. So, I mean, on to the next one, I suppose.
Music licensing reimagined.
So this second one is there's an upcoming event for CJI, and it's Craig Jones versus Gable Stevenson. And for context, Craig Jones is a pretty accomplished grappler in jiu-jitsu, super technical, super good. He's very well known for being a bit of the bridesmaid within the community, always coming second. So, and Gable Stevenson just won just actually lost, I think, in his wrestling, collegiate wrestling national championship, I believe. So,
Music licensing
both second place
reimagined.
guys facing off, but Gable's definitely won more than a couple of things. I think he was even on an NFL roster with the Bills for a lineman. I'm not sure if it was offensive or defensive, but the guys are crazy good too. So let's see what these guys have to say about it.
There's no way for Gable to end the fight with Craig.
Craig versus Gable.
Craig versus Gable.
Stevenson, not Stevenson. Everyone.
Oh, really? Say Gable's last name.
Stevenson.
No, you did not know that.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
They can't do leg locks though, huh?
Yeah, they will.
They will?
Of course they will.
It should be jiu-jitsu versus wrestling.
If Craig subs him too fast, like in 30 seconds with heel hook, then we
restart?
All right, yeah. He's like, all right, do another one.
Yeah, he has lives. He has 3 lives.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 lives. I like
Give
that.
it 2
lives.
lives.
2 lives. Well, the thing is there's no way for Gable to end the fight with Craig.
Craig versus Gable.
It's crazy because Gable's so much bigger than Craig. Like, I mean, if you look at physical attributes alone, Gable should win this fight.
Music licensing
And
reimagined.
the funny thing is, it's going to be a jiu-jitsu match. So what Craig is going to do is basically going to pull guard. It'd be silly to essentially wrestle with a guy like Gable. He's twice the size. He's actually a wrestler. It'll be a fun matchup regardless. But as I said, if Craig starts doing his leg lock stuff, it's over from there. Doesn't mean that what they said about Gable not being able to win the match. I mean, he's going to train for it. I mean, he's pretty good, but I think it's a bit of a showcase type thing. It's a bit of fun within 2 sort of grappling sports and things like that. So it's a fun matchup. We'll see how it goes in regards to viewership and stuff like that, which I think is the main appeal here. But yeah, look, I think Craig's going to get this one done. But I could be wrong. You know, wrestlers have won grappling matches before, you know, so good luck to them. It's a fun thought. I think Craig's going to get it done. On to the next one. So I haven't actually watched this one yet. There will be a couple of videos on here that I won't have watched, but obviously, this is Jeff Teague talking about Kyrie Irving. For guys that don't know, Jeff Teague was a pretty accomplished basketballer. Pretty massive hype coming out of college to come into the NBA.
Music licensing.
I mean, everyone knows Kyrie Irving, and if you know things about basketball, everyone knows Kyrie Irving. So let's jump into the video here.
My career, I guarded Kyrie more than anybody in the NBA.
Really? That's a fact,
That is
bro.
a fact, which is crazy.
So I've experienced those islands.
Yeah.
And like his shot making ability was always the thing for me. Like I remember one game we played Indiana, I literally guarded for 18 seconds. I remember watching the clip when I came back and I was guarding my ass off. And he hit a fallout, fade away. I never got any help. And after the game, I watched the clip and I was just like,
That was great defense.
what the fuck am I supposed to do? Mind you, that game he had 37 points.
Damn.
I'm not lying, bro. Yo, what the fuck are you doing?
He on the stat.
Are we on our show or?
He never had under 20.
Damn, he had 20 points every game.
First game ever. He had 19.
Yeah, I locked him up that game. I remember he was a rookie. I was
But
like,
you
he gonna be, I
said
told him
that-
after the game, I said, "You're gonna be a good player, kid."
You're lying.
I did.
Nah.
Keep working, baby. You gonna be
But after
good.
that,
We
he
beat, we beat the shit out of him. We probably beat him
Yeah.
by 30.
Oh, so you.
I'm like, hey, you gonna be good.
But he knew
man.
he was unreal then.
But I called y'all.
Yeah.
Oh, God, he did. That's
Yeah,
a fact.
I said, yo, he gonna be the best. Yo, he's one of the hardest players I ever had to guard. He's gonna be one of
that's
the coolest
a
players in the
fact.
NBA.
Yeah.
But I said, you're gonna be good, kid. Keep working. Next thing you know, he ain't score under 20. What the Mike? Fuck you.
Man, that's so funny. It's like Kyrie's probably one of the most skillful players to ever play the game. I mean, you watch his highlight reel, it's unbelievable. His handles are off the chain, score from anywhere, do it from under the bucket, like it's crazy. Would be an absolute nightmare for anyone to guard. And I mean, Jeff Teague, I guess, not really known for his defensive prowess, I would say. Yeah, he couldn't get it done, and that's no surprise. I mean, it's no surprise that Kyrie would be able to score 20 on anybody. So no shade on Jeff Teague, man. Respect, but Kyrie's Kyrie, man. What do you do? And it's so funny that he's just like giving him up over after the game, and it's just like, hey, you're gonna be a good kid, like as if like he's sort of giving him a bit of sort of confidence to come into the league and do his thing and that sort of stuff. And Kyrie became Kyrie, and the rest is history. And a lot of people hate Kyrie, but on the court, man, he's one of the most exciting people to watch. So and fellow Melburnian, so
Licensing reimagined.
keep it real, man. Like, good stuff, but that's funny to watch. Jeff Teague sort of give him a bit of a leg up and say, "Oh, you're gonna be a good kid," almost talking down to him. And then, yeah, it's nuts. All right, on to the next one.
It's coming right here. Oh, it's right in the face. And
He does lower his head.
After review, there is a foul for targeting by number 7 of the defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down for Iowa State, and number 7 has been disqualified for the remainder of the game.
And Matt, correct me if I'm wrong here. I mean, that means he's not playing in the first half of the college football playoff game if this score holds. Yes, that is Iowa State. Rocco Beck is just blown up. I mean, lit up by Shamari Simmons. Human
that's a
missile
good
to
night
start the fourth
celebration to go
quarter.
with it.
they got to look at targeting for this, Joe.
Oh, man.
All right, here it comes. It's coming right here.
Oh,
Yeah, look, that was a brutal hit, man.
Music licensing reimagined.
Yeah, the night celebration afterwards probably didn't do him any justice to keep out of the disqualification and targeting sort of rule there. Massive hit, like helmet on helmet type stuff. You can't do it, but fuck, man, that's crazy. great hit shouldn't have been a penalty at all from this guy. I mean, yeah, if you're back in the 90s, potentially, that's how you teach you. Yeah, it's crazy. It's like you hear about these things within the NFL and American football. Is like he led with his helmet. That's not how they teach you to tackle, which once upon a time it was.
Music licensing reimagined.
But yeah, I mean, that is what it is there. I'm confused. What's he not supposed to go after the QB? I never understand the targeting flags. I don't understand targeting. I think it's more of an unprotected play and you go for the massive hit on them. But a QB is kind of protected in regards to that sort of stuff anyway. So massive hit, sort of heartbreaking to see it be put out of the game. But damn, man, that's a brutal hit. Shout out to the Arizona State Sun Devils there. And I'm actually going to try see you guys at the end of the year. So if you can, help a brother out with some tickets, let's do that. All good. On to the next one.
Music licensing reimagined.
Here we go. Tiger Woods was asked about his bet.
Great bet. Dumbass for the Grand Slam part, though.
Tiger, what do you think about the guy that bet $85,000 for you to win the Masters?
Fucking great bet. Dumbass for the Grand Slam part, though.
Oh, that's great. That's fun. I mean, Tiger Woods, an entertainer. What do you have to say? Like, he won the Masters in 2019 when he wasn't even supposed to play. So, who doesn't love a comeback story, especially when it's somebody who's loved as much as Tiger Woods, especially in the golfing community? I mean, he's had his ups and downs within his personal life, I suppose, but fuck, man, to have that confidence to just say, yeah, I mean, great bet. I bet on me. He bet on me. I got the job done. But to get the Grand Slam would be ridiculous. And not many golfers have done that. I don't think anyone really has, apart from maybe Tiger and maybe Jack Nicklaus or something like that. And I could be completely wrong about that. But yeah, it's super fun for Tiger to have that interaction with the crowd and still be entertaining and, a bit comedic in that sort of sense as well. That's super fun. So we'll go on to the next one here. Yeah, we're going to score the Brendan Moreno and Steve Erceg fight. Really good fight. Yeah, we'll go through this before I sort of commentate more on it. So let's jump in here.
Brendan Moreno versus Steve Erceg without any bias. Round 1. Moreno lands the big shots, landing an uppercut into a right hand that stuns Erceg. Moreno is able to find multiple right hands that win in the round. 10-9 Moreno. Round 2, a swing round. Both fighters land crisp shots. While it could go either way, Moreno seems to be the fighter landing the heavier blows. 10-9 Moreno. Round 3. Erceg is able to slow down the pace and start making Moreno miss. Moreno is unable to land any of those big shots, while Erceg lands at twice the rate. 10-9 Erceg. Round 4, another close round in terms of striking. Moreno is able to steal the round in the final minute with a takedown and a heavy shot on the buzzer. 10-9 Moreno. Round 5, another close round. Moreno's strikes seem to land with more intent. Within the last minute, Moreno is able to take Erceg to the ground and secure side control. 10-9 Moreno. Overall, 49-46 Moreno. While Erceg's striking was clean, he lacked enough big moments to win in rounds and the fight. Scoring Brandon Moreno.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good fight overall, and it was super fun to watch. Brendan Moreno was looking dangerous in that fight, man. He was looking like, yeah, just a guy that was coming up again and would be looking good for another title shot, I suppose. And I mean, Steve Erceg being super technical, and shout out to Ashburn Blue Man, boy from Perth. So, yeah, I don't disagree with this. I think I had round 2 and 3 for Erceg. But yeah, I could be biased in that. Obviously, I'm a fan of Steve, and yeah, I mean, is it wrong? I don't think so. Moreno won the fight regardless, and yeah, fun fight to watch. So yeah, one of those matchups where Urseg super technical, Moreno a bit more of a brawler, but yeah, he's starting to put it together a lot more within his technical ability as well. And yeah, he's looking like a dangerous matchup for a lot of people. So watch out for Moreno, but keep tabs on Steve as well, man. He's looking dangerous as well. He's only lost a couple of fights recently against really quality guys, and he's had like 5 fights in the UFC now, and all of them have been former champion or championship contenders. So I mean, he's just entered the UFC and he's there and about. So look out for the come up of Urseg and Moreno to be looking like a title shot contender again. So yeah, Moreno with the win. Move on to the next one.
Never heard of might have just discovered the solution to the most common injury in all of sports. Let me explain. If you recall, last year I made a video talking about how the NFL spent $4 million to fund a study that aims to help athletes like Christian Watson find out why they suffer from so many hamstring injuries, which the league says is the most common injury its players suffer from. In that video, I told you about how Christian Watson and some other Green Bay Packers went down to the University of Wisconsin to get their hamstrings studied for 8 hours. But it turns out I didn't tell you the full story. Apparently, scientists at the University of Wisconsin were using a relatively new software at the time called Springbok Analytics to create 3-dimensional models of these athletes' bodies based on 2-dimensional MRI scans. Evidently, it only takes about 10 to 30 minutes to do the MRI, and then within a few hours, Springbok produces a hyper-detailed 3D model for trainers and doctors to analyze. These models are important because unlike the 2D images, they allow teams to detect things like muscle asymmetries and fatty infiltrations that can be early signs of injury risk. In fact, it was only through these 3D models that the University of Wisconsin was able to find a 20% asymmetry in the hamstring muscle between Christian Watson's right and left legs. This means that his left hamstring was 20% stronger than his right one. So as his weaker right hamstring tried to keep up with the explosiveness of his stronger left one, the weaker one became more easily fatigued and in turn injured. However, after learning this, Watson said that he began working on closing that 20% gap, to the point where this season, he was only at an 8 to 10% difference in strength. And while perfect symmetry is nearly impossible, he says his goal is to shrink that gap to around 6%. Currently, Springbok works with 15 NBA teams, Major League Baseball, several EPL teams, and the University of Wisconsin to study injuries in football. From their roughly 200 customers, the company expects to generate upwards of $5 million in revenue this year, according to Axios, with the goal of using their technology to help solve MLB pitchers' arm injuries next. A company you've never...
That's crazy that not a lot of research has already gone into something like this with soft tissue and things like that. I mean, I heard the story about Christian Watson sort of going to professional help and spending a lot of money and doing all that sort of stuff to ensure that he's getting his own treatment on his hamstring injuries. But this isn't the first time things like this have happened, and it's like $4 million for the NFL. Is that it? You know, like, shouldn't they be getting more bang for buck out of their players, especially guys like Christian Watson, who is probably a pretty big piece of the puzzle in Green Bay? And you know, like, you got Christian McCaffrey here as one of the main sort of examples at the start of the video here, and it's like, well, this guy's worth more than $4 million a year to the Carolina Panthers at the time. Why aren't they putting more money into this? But yeah, I think the asymmetry part, it has some truth to it. I mean, I'm not so super knowledgeable in this space, but if they figure out what to do, I mean, I'd love to hear it, because I've had hamstring injuries of my own, but I'm not an elite athlete by any stretch of the imagination, but I love to play. So yeah, let's see what they go with here. It's like, we've got a comment here which I saw is like, Watson literally had another season-ending injury this year. Safe to say either he failed to achieve his goal, symmetry isn't everything, or he's just supremely unlucky. Yeah, I think there's truth to that. I mean, symmetry probably isn't everything, but I think it would help mitigate some of the issues that he's been having. So it's a pursuit of marginal gains in that regard, I think. So potentially it's worth looking into those sorts of things. And yeah, good for them to look into it further, because it's not just NFL, but every sport on earth, you know, especially Australian football. It's like hamstrings happen every week. Same with NFL, NRL, you know, which is rugby league, rugby union, all those sports where you're running a lot. It's bound to happen. I wouldn't even be surprised if it happened in NHL. I'm probably wrong about that though, but look, yeah, it needs to be looked into. I don't understand why they haven't already. And it seems to go with like ACL tears, knee injuries, shoulder injuries. Shoulder's a big can of worms for physios and things like that as well. So I don't understand why sports medicine, sports science hasn't come far enough to be able to understand these injuries a little bit more and how to mitigate the injuries. Because at the end of the day, I think obviously rest is the best thing to do for these things, but yeah, in my opinion, I'm surprised that they don't know more about soft tissue injuries and stuff like that. So with that being said, we'll jump on to the next video. Yeah, so this is a fun one. We'll watch this one.
Take some weight, monster. Take some weight, monster. I'm gonna chill out. Oh my god, how did they do this?
That's so good. I mean, everyone loves Volk, right? But this is one of those videos where, you know, it's so funny to watch this sort of stuff. Volk has hair there, so he's on the come up there. So undefeated before Makachev, I believe. I could be wrong about that, but then obviously had a couple of shortcomings in the meantime. And I mean, this is what we're all going to be like when he fights Lopez next. And you know, we hope we get the dub with Volk, and especially being Australian. So shout out to Volk, man. This is hilarious. But yeah, it's good to see everyone still jumping on the Volk wagon and keeping on going with that and supporting, even though he's sort of, you know, lost his last couple. But shout out to Volk. On to the next one.
Davo, this is yours. A moment that'll live forever.
Oh man, what a moment. I mean, for context, the NBL championship just went down over the last week or two. And essentially Illawarra Hawks won against Melbourne United. Matthew Dellavedova, what a man, you know what I mean? And he won the series MVP and handed his award over to the person in most people's opinion won the award, with Will Hickey. And what a moment, man. Like, for Matthew Dellavedova, such a legend within Australian basketball, to, you know, go back to the Australian League, win the MVP for the series, and then basically gave it over to Will Hickey, which is deservedly so. I mean, I love Delly. He's my guy, and he's a lot of people. Everyone loves Matthew Dellavedova, right? So, yeah, real big, massive for that, and it could potentially even be one of Will Hickey's sporting heroes. I don't know much about Will Hickey. Let's see how old he is. I mean, Matthew Dellavedova has been around, so he's what, 26. Matthew Dellavedova's what, like 35 or something. So it's like, it's one of those things where you watch something like that. Will Hickey's, you know, grown up watching Matthew Dellavedova and played in NBA championships and done all that sort of stuff. And Matthew Dellavedova showing heaps of all the class there just to say, hey, this isn't mine. This is, like guy from Illawarra Hawks who actually won it. And big up to Delhi, man. Good stuff. And Mitch Creek also played in the NBA from Australia. Comments on it. All class Delhi shouldn't have been put in that position. Horrible by whoever's decision it was. Amazing series by Delhi, but the winning side's player should win. Don't disagree with that either. So good stuff by Delhi and great sportsmanship. And to give up an award like that in a winning series, not easy to do, because you just want to take something out of it, especially in those sort of cases where you lose. And Delhi handed it over you don't have to do that. So yeah, all class, man. On to the next one. On the PJ Instagram and everything, old Minwoo got his first win over the week or over the last couple of weeks. So shout out Minwoo, man, another boy from Perth. So man, how hilarious is that the PGA Tour actually put that up on their Instagram? It's just like, here we go, Minwoo, put him up there, and hilarious stuff. It's great to see that everyone's on the same page here. I mean, Minwoo's just like, bruh. good, he's him. Let him cook. Old Chef Min, let's go. So congratulations. And hopefully that's just first of many. He's a sort of young guy coming up in golf. So awesome shit. Let's keep going. And then put Australia on the map in golf, and away we go. All right, on to the next one. Another one from the PGA. Hoop dreams for these PGA Tour pros. And it's got Gary Woodland, won 2 state titles in high school, attended Washburn on a basketball scholarship, and shot 87% from the free throw line. We don't need to watch that. 2017, Andrew Novak, intramural basketball championship at Woodford College. Kurt Kitayama, a senior, led his high school team, the Chico High Blazing Heat, to a 27-2 record with a career high 31 points in their championship game. Tony Finau averaged 10.8 and 12 rebounds per game in high school. He received scholarship offers to play in college but wanted to play golf. Davis Thompson averaged 12.2 and 6.5 and 1.6 in high school. Denny McCarthy played guard on the varsity basketball team at Georgetown Prep and was an excellent three-point shooter. I'm a believer that elite athletes do what elite athletes do, right? Yeah, sure, they play golf, and obviously golf doesn't translate to basketball, but I think to some extent that a lot of elite athletes actually choose to play what game they want to go for, or the game chooses them in a sense, because this dude's probably not 6'6" and jumping out the building, you know what I mean? But he's good enough and smart enough to be able to be good at something else. And it just so happens to be golf. And I think that's the same for a lot of high achievers. So, it's a fun thing to think of. Tony Finau, obviously, he's a big guy. He hits it super long. So he's going to be strong. And will he made it to the NBA instead of playing golf? I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. These stats are pretty nice, man. And yeah, it is what it is. And history speaks for itself in regards to what he's been able to do within the golf game, and as well as Gary Woodland as well. So 87 from the free throw line's good. I mean, he's obviously a bit of a shooter. So yeah, on to the next one. Should I commentate on this one? Probably not. All right, guys, we'll leave it there. Hey, thanks for watching. Peace.